Hello and welcome to Health Matters on Channels Television. Thanks for staying with us. I am Mary Alale Yusuf. All over the world, by May the 9th, there were over 3.9 million confirmed cases of COVID-19, about 1.3 million recoveries, and sadly, almost 275,000 deaths. The United States of America remains the territory with the highest number of confirmed cases. It's almost 1.3 million cases, is more than 5 times Spain's, which has the second highest number of confirmed cases. Nigeria is seeing a spike in cases and within the same period of time had a total of 3,912 cases in 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory. There are now 679 recoveries nationwide and 117 deaths. Lagos has the most confirmed cases in Nigeria, but with the numbers rising in other states, its 1,667 cases represent about 43% of the nationwide burden, down from 46% last week. My guest is a public health physician and member of the Association of Public Health Physicians of Nigeria, Dr. Chidumga Ohazurike. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mary, for having me.
Now we have people moving about. Some of the civil servants are moving about, but it's like half of them are required to still remain in the house, and schools are still closed. But look at the traffic. What's your impression of the behavior with this ease of lockdown?
Thank you very much for that question. I think we need to put things in perspective. What the government had in mind was to ease the lockdown. And in easing the lockdown, it gave certain requirements for conduct of life and of businesses. But what we've seen in the past 5 days is that we humans have not really followed those guidelines. Now, for the government, for workers from level 1 to 13 are still required to stay at home for civil servants. Now, the government brought out guidelines for businesses for them to at least operate at 30% to 50% capacity of their staff.
Okay, that was the projection?
Yeah, yes, that was what the guideline says. You shouldn't have more than 50% capacity of your staff in your building at any required point in time. And even at that, the guidelines encouraged businesses and organizations to encourage their staff who could do so to continue to work from home. Now, with the numbers of people we have seen on the road, we can interpret it to say that this is our 70% of the informal sector.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think it now behoves on those people who work in the informal sector to take personal responsibility. So it's also possible to organize your business around when it's vitally important for you to be in your shop. I don't think it is wise for a business person who has a one-man shop to open the shop every day. I think those businesses should find alternative means, though difficult but workable, should find alternative means to run their businesses. It could cost a little bit maybe to get your orders and then use a delivery service to deliver to your customers. But I wouldn't advise even people who work in the informal sector to go to their shops every day, open the shops every day. You can have rotating days as a sole proprietor for when you open your business, and then the limited number of hours. So I would implore those people who work in the informal sector, who I would presume are those on the road in these large numbers, to seek alternative ways to pursue their livelihoods.
So we're talking about maybe making orders,
yes. But
that's like a high-end sort of service, not for the poorer people.
I think the mobile or the telephony penetration in Nigeria is quite high, except for new customers. Most of your customers, you would already have their numbers.
Okay,
I want to presume. If you didn't do that before now, it may be difficult, as I said. Starting new things in the midst of what we're going through may be difficult. But if you already had, like, even if it was on a piece of, on a notebook that you had the numbers of your customers, you could just even call them up and say, please, I still have this in stock, so you can make your orders, and then I'll get it delivered to you. So I think because it's safety first, this, what we're talking about, the virus we're talking about, is very contagious, very, very contagious, and it is moved by people. So the more people move, the more the virus moves.
Okay, so let's even think about those who are doing the deliveries, people who have to come out. How do they safely get to work? For example, somebody is working quite a distance away, he can't walk, and doesn't have a car. What should the person be thinking of to remain safe by the time the person enters the office building?
Yeah. So that again takes us to the point of personal responsibility. So as you're leaving your house in the morning, wear a mask.
Okay.
There are two things that shouldn't leave your house, that you shouldn't leave your house without.
Okay.
Your mask and your hand sanitizer. Those two things should be your bodies for this time. So you wear a mask and get a hand sanitizer, very handy. I would really advise that if you were to use public transportation, that you choose the seat by the window. I would really, yes, I would really
If
advise.
it's going to be 60% full, some people won't be by the window.
So I wouldn't want, I think we have to modify our behavior and not be in a hurry. This is not the time to be in haste.
Yeah.
If that particular bus is full, please wait for the next one. Get a seat that will keep you safe. And I think those seats...
Should you spray the seat with spirit or something?
No, but I think you should not allow your hands to touch either the seats or the railings in the bus. Okay. That's very important. So keep your hands to yourself as much as possible.
Or how about wearing gloves and then taking them off when you get to the office? Does that make sense?
No. Because even if you have kept yourself safe, you haven't kept the next person who is not wearing gloves safe. So that's a bit dicey. But hand sanitizers really do a lot until you get to the office where you can wash your hands.
Okay.
So the commute from work actually poses a risk, but I think it can be done responsibly. You can take personal responsibility for your commute to work.
Okay, so the person has gotten to the office now and is going to spend a minimum of 8 hours or so within the office space. Let's even say it's a regular office. Chairs, tables, laptops, computers, doors and cafeteria and all that stuff. You're going to spend the day there. How do you keep yourself okay until you leave the place? Okay,
so there are also guidelines for businesses that NCDC has released, and I think it's important for businesses, for organizations, and for even staff who work to go through these guidelines and know what to do. But
where are these guidelines?
It's on the NCDC website. There is the COVID-19 website. So I think it's just about 12 pages, so you can quickly go through it. But at the same time, what's important is that for the safety in the workplace, there are two parts of it: the personal responsibility of the staff and the corporate responsibility of the organization where that staff is going to work. So I would expect that organizations, no matter how small, even if you have 3 staff, even if you have 2 staff, to at least do mandatory temperature screens every morning when people arrive. Okay. So you should have like a log of what people's temperature are every day. And then if your office is a small space, I don't think everybody should come every day. You can rotate the days when people can't come to work. Or you can say maybe if there are 5 of you, 2 people work this week, and then 3 the next week, then 2 the next week. So that for us in public health, what that helps us do is that if anything goes wrong, contact tracing is easier. It will be easy to trace the contacts of 2-3 people than to be tracing the contacts of 5, 10, 100 people.
That's right.
So you reduce the number of people you have in a certain workplace. It's also time for people to redo your physical sitting arrangements. So even now, your physical sitting arrangements should have that 2-meter apart guidelines, even while you are in the office. And people should continue to wear their mask because this is a droplet and a contact infection. So while people are at work, everybody should be encouraged to wear masks. So what I will expect businesses to be doing is to have what we call the infection prevention control policies. So what are your guidelines? It should be stated so that everybody coming into your building, even if you have to accept customers or visitors, would know what to do. So you have to write it down that when you come into this place, we check your temperature.
Okay.
When you come into this building, you have to wear a mask. when you come into this building, please don't be offended, but we'll have to relate with you 2 meters apart. When you come into this building, we will have to clean our, or you tell, this is another time for you to upskill your cleaning staff. It's very important. So spaces should be cleaned as often as possible. So high contact items, when we say high contact items, we mean pens, desktops, computers. In fact, people shouldn't be sharing those work equipment as much as possible. One laptop or one computer should be for one person as much as possible. And then when that person arrives in the morning, please sanitize that workspace, your desk, your laptops, sanitize it as much as you can. And then let one person maintain a workspace, and all workspaces should be at least 2 meters apart. Now, at the same time, train your cleaning staff to know how to clean. So your light switches, your air conditioner, your doorknobs.
Light switches?
Yes.
Who would have thought of that?
Wow, but, oh, okay, thank you for
And then pens?
Yes, so you shouldn't share pens.
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't share pens. So
but at the same time, I might have touched something, so I should still sanitize my pen, right?
Sanitize your hands.
Hands.
Yes,
okay.
sanitize your hands. So what I would advocate is for places where you do the regular sign-in procedures where everybody's using a pen.
Yeah.
If you work there, please use your own pen to sign in. But if for any reason you cannot find your pen at any particular point in time, when you use that pen at the front desk, sanitize your hands immediately, because those are formines that can also spread the infection. So and then I've talked about sanitizing your workspace. Then this is not go paperless as much as possible in your office. So even when you are having your routine communications in the office, send a text message, use WhatsApp, but as much as possible, avoid things that make you go from one desk to another desk. If you have to send a mail to tell someone something, please send a mail. If it's a text message, send a text message so that you still maintain that physical distance even while you are in the office. So those things are very important.
At the same time, sometimes it's almost impossible in some workplaces for people not to be together, maybe 2 at a time to do something. At such a time, okay, fine, I know, wear a mask, but anything else?
I would want to, even when you have to be in close proximity with someone else, limit the amount of time you spend, because if anything goes wrong and you have spent 5, 10, the longer you spend with someone, even if the person is an asymptomatic carrier, the likelihood you risk. Yes, so we've talked about using mask consistently and correctly. So when I say consistently and correctly, it means you're wearing it all the time, and you're wearing it to cover your nose and your mouth and not on your jaw. So when you see people who are wearing
I'm sure you've seen a lot of that. The thing hanging down on the jaw.
So it doesn't protect, while we're even talking about using mask is for source control. So what do we mean by source control? So this is a droplet infection that comes when people are speaking, when people are coughing, when people are sneezing. And then it can
yawning.
Yes.
Yawning brings out moisture, I noticed.
Sometimes it does, yes, depending on the force of the yawn. And then this lands on surfaces that can be picked up by hands that may not be washed or sanitized. So when we say wear mask, it's actually for source control. It will not prevent the virus from getting to you, but at least if everybody wears a mask, at least we are sure that our environment has no droplets containing the virus.
Okay. There's that.
That's how it works.
Okay.
And that is why
So the environment is clean because you're all wearing masks, and then you sanitize your hands regularly, so you limit the spread.
Yeah, you limit the spread. And so I also want to advocate for workplaces to have hand hygiene facilities. So this is not the time to have a workplace that doesn't have a place where you can wash your hands. It will also not be good enough for you to tell your workers or your employees to sanitize for 8 hours or for 6 hours they're going to spend in your building. So at least have hand washing facilities, because you're supposed to use the hand sanitizer when hand washing facilities are not available. So you can't, I don't think it would work for you to just keep on sanitizing for 6 to 8 hours. So the preferred
action is to actually wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands under running water.
We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue on this. Please stay with us. We're coming back with more after the break. Welcome back. It's Health Matters, and you can call 0805-468-3514. That's 0805-468-3514 if you have questions on the topic. You can also tweet at CTV_Mary A while the conversation continues. Now, talking about masks, we now have these cloth masks, you know, and they're different from the medical masks like the one you walked in with. Can we wear these all day? I know that as you leave, you're going to ditch the mask you came in with and wear another. So how about those wearing cloth masks? How should it be for them?
Okay, so basically the way both mask works are a bit different, because the medical mask works for prevention. So at least it filters, for the one I was wearing, filters like 50 to 60% of the air around you. But for the cloth mask, as I said, it's for source control. So you don't want droplets coming from someone when the person is speaking. So you can actually wear it for the whole day and come back and wash it and iron it.
Oh, and iron it.
Yes, and iron it before you use. So you can't have just one mask. Please, it would be advisable to have 1, 2, 3, 4 cloth masks so that it can last.
One for every day of the week.
Yes, if you can.
If you're a very busy person.
If you're a very busy person, it would be ideal to have one for every day of the week. But if you can't afford to have that, at least have a minimum of 3. But for the medical mask, we advise to change it when it gets wet. So sometimes you're speaking, you're yawning, you are sneezing through the medical mask and it gets wet. So at the point where you feel that wetness of the mask, you would have to change it, because you cannot vouch for the integrity of the mask at that point in time.
Okay, let me quickly ask the question for Get Solutions. Get Solutions is saying, why should A and B still keep distance when they're both wearing masks?
Okay, so as we said in the beginning, if we've been following the trend of conversations, the mask is there is a hierarchy of protection. So you wear a mask in conjunction with physical distancing. Wearing a mask doesn't mean you should now be in a clogged space with other people. So that is just the 1 or 2% protection, you know, that it will add to the list of the things that protection guidelines or preventive measures.
It's an addition, but
just
not solely by itself.
The mask can never stand alone by itself. So when you see people in a cluster and they're wearing masks, they've defeated the purpose. So even when you wear a mask, please stay apart.
Let me entertain Idris, because I'm sure I can answer this question. He's asking, is coronavirus located in saliva?
Okay, so I have seen a test, a new rapid test that uses saliva to test for coronavirus. But I would think that what that test is doing is to test for the antibodies of the virus.
Okay.
Yes, but what's important is that the virus does not get into the mucous membranes of the eyes, the mouth, and the nose.
Okay, so the virus then can be in the saliva, but to test for it, they need to do a swab, which is not,
Yes,
you know.
Yes, but remember that when we say droplets, these droplets are actually in the saliva.
Okay.
So when we say droplets infection, is the saliva from either the sneezing or the yawning or the speaking that has
or the
virus,
spitting,
or the spitting that
terrible
has
habits that people have, spitting on the road. I think that should stop.
Yeah.
So let's say this is what I do. When I want to clean my desk, I don't like to rub that jelly thing on the desk. You know, that's how the sanitizer is. So what I do is I get isopropyl alcohol and pour them into baby wipes. So I have a wipe for all the surfaces, the chair, the desk, the foot of the computer, you know, the mouse and everything. So is that good, or does it dilute my...
No. I think you should use a wipe, pour the sanitizer or the alcohol into a wipe. Or if you have the alcohol wipe itself that has the 70%, or you have the Clorox wipe that has the bleach in it, then you can use that. But even if you don't have that, just dedicate a cloth material, and then you can use it with a bleach solution.
Okay.
To
so
clean.
bleach solution is also good for surfaces. All right. That's great. So we've made it to work successfully, and I think we've done our day's work.
No, so I really want to point out something businesses should be doing.
Okay.
So when you have your mandatory temperature screens, you should have at least one dedicated staff.
Okay.
Who knows what to do in case someone's temperature is above normal. So
okay, let me just stop you first and take Shehu. Shehu is calling from Kano. Hello, Shehu.
Hello.
So what's your question? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. World Health Organization says... Yeah. Hello.
So what's your question? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. World Health Organization says that the face mask not contribute to anything. Yeah. So now I'm hearing,
you need to put your TV off if we're going to have a conversation. Okay, so try again, Shehu, while we'll continue. Okay, so somebody is asking, can fumigation of offices and public spaces prevent and kill the virus? That's Abdul Ganiu.
Yeah, so it's
you
important
told me
that
it's not fumigation, that it's decontamination. Why is it different?
So because you're decontaminating the environment, you're decontaminating your surroundings, So that I would advise that offices, organizations to have policies about how regularly they decontaminate. If you can decontaminate every 1 or 2 days, that would be nice. If you can decontaminate
every 1 or 2 days.
Every 1 or 2 days.
Do you realize what you're saying is 5 days a week or 3 days a week?
5 days or 5 times?
Yes, that's after every work day or after every other work day.
I would want to. It depends on how big your organization is and what you can afford. So when we say decontaminate, it doesn't also mean that you really have to spray. If you can't afford to spray, depending on how large your office space is, if you can afford to do that, do. But at least what I mean by decontamination is try to clean all your cleaners at the end of the work. They should try to clean all the tabletops, all the work equipment. They should clean it down, ready for work the next day.
Okay, so this decontamination fluid that is used, assuming it's sprayed, is it harmful to people? Can people be somewhere around while it's being done?
No, because there are different concentrations depending on what you want to decontaminate. But because of the, how I call it, sometimes the concentration can be too much for you to inhale.
So you shouldn't be around.
You shouldn't be around.
Let's quickly take Desmond's call. Hello, Desmond. Are you there? Lost Desmond. There's a bit of problem there. Try again to Desmond. Okay. So decontamination after every work day or after every other work day, either mechanically with the spray or
just using your normal cleaning
solutions, yes, your cloth and whatever. So some people say when they get home back from work, they have to wash their hands outside, take off all their clothes, have a bath, yes, change, yes, put the clothes in a dedicated place, yes, before they touch anybody or anything. Is that how it's supposed to be?
If you can, if you can't do that, but one thing you missed, as you were saying, is to leave your shoes outside.
Leave your shoes outside. Yes. I'm sure lots of people don't do that. But really, outside. Doctor, we have to end the show now. Thank you so much for coming to tell us about safety at the workplace in these corona-infested times. Thank you so much. And thank you very much, everybody at home, for listening and trying to call in. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Mary Alale Yusuf.